Hello everyone, thank you for joining us this Saturday morning and welcome to this educational presentation of a great strategy for capturing trending markets. Now if you're the type of trader who likes to get as much bang for your buck out of the trades, who likes to stay in as long as possible in these very strong trends, either up or down, this is a great strategy for you. I'm going to be giving you all the entry rules for this so that you can start trading it as early as Monday if you'd like. Now let's take a look at this example right here. As we see here in this chart of HEAR, someone looking at this would say, well, there's no real clear direction, but I'm going to show you with just a few simple rules today how you could have actually entered right here. This was just a few months ago and taken advantage of upwards of 18 points that you could have potentially captured in just a couple of months. This is the strategy I'm going to be sharing with you today. It's full entry rules, and once again, you can start trading it as early as Monday. And it's all going to be done showing you how simple it is to actually trade with our new platform. This is the PTS Primo charting platform. I designed this with Pro Trader Strategies. It was specifically designed to keep things as simple as possible and designed to teach traders how to trade. Real excited about this, and all the examples and all the strategy setups you're going to be seeing today are generated from using our PTS Primo charting platform. Welcome once again. My name is Steven Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading. If you're new to my Saturday webinars, you will see that our only goal is about teaching you. That's the only thing we're interested in. We're not interested in selling you some $10,000 system or saying that we have the perfect method to trade a specific market or a specific time frame. We don't believe in that. In fact, we often tell students or potential members of our classes that if that's what you're looking for, you should run somewhere else. And if anyone ever says that, you should actually run away from them, because there is no such thing as the perfect method. There is no such thing as some system or strategy that never has losses. It just isn't real. I've been trading for 41 years now, so I know through my own personal experience that those things don't exist. I started trading 41 years ago on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. I was on the floor for 16 years, and 9 of those years I was a specialist. A specialist is just someone who made markets in roughly about 50 or 60 stocks. So I made markets during the crash of 1987 and the bull market that followed. So I've been involved in just about every market scenario you can think of. Straight up markets, straight down markets, sideways markets. I know what works in terms of consistency, and I know what doesn't, because I've traded and I've even taught classes in just about every system and every strategy you can think of. So we're here simply to educate you so that you don't have to waste your time. You don't have to waste 40 or 50 years trying to learn what works the best in terms of consistency. That's what our goal is, to teach you so that ultimately you can be in charge of your own trading decisions. No one should ever tell you what, how, or what time frame to trade. You should be in charge of that. We simply give you the tools and education in order to make those decisions. So I'm going to show you today how simple that is by sharing these entry rules. But before we begin, as always, we're first required by law to show you this, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results using this particular method, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I am about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And please remember that all examples I'm about to share are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, as you're taking a brief moment to view our required disclaimer, I would also like to take this time, if you haven't done so already, to follow us on Twitter. Invite each and every one of you. Every day I post different information, anywhere from signals that our strategies have generated to actual little bits of financial wisdom I've accumulated along the way. So lots of great free information. Feel free to follow us on Twitter. Now, as I stated in the very beginning, we're a little bit different from other webinars and other companies in that we're not promising you the world. We don't believe in that. All we're promising you is sound fundamental education. We're trying to teach you how to trade, not trade for you. That's really one of the biggest disservices this industry is, by telling you what to buy or sell on a daily basis. I would say that the majority of traders make their decisions based off that same type of technique or method, and it's been estimated upwards of 80 to 85% of all traders fail. So that really doesn't work. There's no consistency in following what someone else does or buying a system that automatically generates buy and sell signals. The only thing that I have seen has worked, personally, myself as well included, is sound fundamental education so that you can really understand why you're doing something and ultimately make your own decisions. So as you can see here, my goal is not to force feed you signals. My goal is not to sell you a $10,000 system. And my goal is not to trade for you. My goal is to teach you how to trade so that you can be in charge of your own trading destiny. That's the same way I was taught some 41 years ago. Hopefully, it will be able to sustain you going on for 4 decades now. Okay, now since this is going to be a classroom scenario, I want to take each and every one of your questions, but please, I know it's a Saturday morning. I don't want to take all of your day away from you. So if you have a question, please wait till the very end. I promise I'll get to each and every one of them at the very end. There's a little box I have to open up in order to see your questions, and I won't even open that up until this presentation is concluded. So just wait till the end to ask any questions. And I will answer the most common question, and that is this being recorded? Yes, it is. If you're having technical issues or if you have to leave early, don't worry. We will send each and every one of you a link to this presentation. All right, so if you happen to just join us, please wait till the end to ask questions. Let's begin. Let's begin today's class. Now, the strategy I'm going to be sharing with you today, the entry rules are strategy 3A. All right, this is a great strategy for capturing those large trending markets. And let's talk about some of the highlights, okay? It's a continuation strategy. If you're not familiar with what that means, is we look for some type of clues or some type of knowledge that a trend is underway. Maybe it's just beginning, maybe it's in full bore, it's really going strong. But either way, whenever a trend is in place, usually it has some type of stop or resting point, all right? And then if it's strong enough, then it continues. Well, that's what a continuation strategy is. We look for that pause, and then once it starts to go, we jump on board. That's a continuation strategy. Now, it does this based off of a unique Bollinger Band setting. Usually we reserve this setting strictly for our members and our students, but we're going to share and reveal with you what this unique Bollinger Band setting is. So you can start altering it and editing it today to have your charts set up to that. Now, it is specifically designed to trade those quick, powerful trends. So if you're the type of trader who wants to be in and capture those long, big moves, either up or down, this is the strategy for you. Now, one of the best things about this is that it can be applied so easily onto any market, any time frame, and any direction. Now, today we're going to have a bias looking at stocks. But trust me when I tell you that you can just as easily apply this to futures, currency pairs, Bitcoin, commodities. It really makes no difference. As long as there's a large trend in place, you can apply these same rules. All right? It doesn't matter if you trade on tick charts. It doesn't matter if you trade monthly bars. You can still generate signals based off strategy 3A entry rules. Now, as with all of our methods, we tell our students in our courses, please paper trade first. I know you'll be able to start trading this as early as Monday, but we want you to first paper trade. Don't just jump in feet first, start applying with the trade signals with real capital. We want you to just practice, because inevitably you'll most likely lose money if you jump in too quickly because you'll apply the rules incorrectly. So you need to practice it a little bit. So please paper trade. Now, all our methods are based on consistency. What does consistency mean? Well, it means that you will have losses from time to time, and that's perfectly normal. You know, every athlete strikes out. Every athlete misses baskets every once in a while. Every athlete doesn't win every race, okay? Every entertainer doesn't have a hit album or a hit movie. Those are the small losses. What you're looking for in any trading method or any career or endeavor is consistency, a 2 steps forward, 1 step back approach. So this is what we're talking about. All of our methods have that 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The 1 step back being the losses from time to time. That's perfectly normal. It's okay as long as you have a method that's able to recoup them. And we feel very strongly that all of our methods have this high level of consistency. All right, so let's talk about the Bollinger Band settings. Now, let's first give you a refresher course, if you're not familiar or you haven't used Bollinger Bands in the past, what they're based off. And I'm not going to go into the inner workings of the actual indicator because personally I don't really look at that myself anyway, and I don't really understand it. All I want to know is just the numbers to adjust and to fix. Now, the standard Bollinger Band settings are based off of basically 3 bands. The first one is the moving average. If you look at the Bollinger Bands, there are 3 lines. The one in the middle is the moving average. It's just a 20-period simple moving average. That's all it is. And then there are bands on top and below that 20-period moving average. These are the upper band and the lower band. Now, their deviation, meaning the distance they are from that moving average in the middle, is set to 2. That's the standard setting. Okay, so it's two standard deviations above, 2 standard deviations below. And when you apply that, which is the default setting on Bollinger Bands, whenever you click them on, you'll get a chart that looks somewhat like this. Here's a chart in Facebook. As we look at this, here's the way the standard settings of a Bollinger Band would look. You have 3 separate distinct bands. The one in the middle is just simply a 20-period moving average. And the one at the top is set at 2 standard deviations above that moving average. The one below is 2 standard deviations below. Okay? That's a standard setting. We're not going to use this setting. We're going to alter it and change it. And you can do this on your charting software. What we want to do is keep the moving average the same. All right? These are the settings for the edited version for Strategy 3A. So keep the moving average the same. When you go into your default box, just click on Bollinger Band. You want to edit it. The moving average will stay at 20, but we're going to change the upper and lower band deviation. They're going to change them down to fractions. So instead of being +2 and -2, it's going to be plus 0.382 and -0.382. You may want to write that down, okay? So the upper and lower deviation will be 0.382. Obviously, the plus is the band on top, and the negative is the band below. Now, I know a lot of you may say, well, this must be some hidden number, some Fibonacci or some secret number. This is the number I was taught some 4 decades ago, and it works better after experimentation. It works better than any other setting. You're free to experiment and change the numbers if you like. You could change them to anything you'd like. It really doesn't matter. All we're saying is that for all intents and purposes, when using Strategy 3A, it's based off 0.382 and -0.382. If you're having trouble with your standard charting software editing this, call the tech support. They should be able to set this up for you, okay? So here are the standard settings of the Bollinger Bands. Once we change them to our proprietary settings, this is what they should look like. You see they have this much more fluid, much more flowing look to them, all right? Now remember, a lot of students will say, well, gosh, you know, the platform I have doesn't have the capability to alter this. Can I use another indicator? Can I use envelopes? Can I use Keltner channels? You know, I've experimented in my 4 decades with different indicators trying to match this, trying to see if they can be transposed on, and nothing works as well. You won't get that high level of consistency unless you're using the Bollinger Bands with the proprietary setting. So I wouldn't use another indicator or tool to try and match it. Okay, so let's look, now that you know what the settings should be, let's look at the entry rules, okay? And we're going to take it step by step. Step 1, obviously you want to plot the proprietary Bollinger Band setting on your chart. Now I know, as we stated, that you should be and have the capability to do this with whatever platform you're using. But if you don't, let me show you how simple it is. It's already done for you on our new PTS Primo charting platform. As we can see here, we have an older chart of Amazon, and we see that here's the chart right here. And what you first thing you want to do is simply click on Strategy 3A in the top Strategy green tab here. Once you do that, a drop-down menu appears. Click on Indicator, and the Bollinger Band with the proprietary setting automatically is displayed. So there's nothing you have to do. You don't have to edit every time you want to use this. You don't have to go back to the regular settings and then go back to the proprietary. It's already pre-canned in there for you. All right? So that's the first thing. Step number 2 is what we're looking for are 5 consecutive price bars that close either on or above that highest Bollinger Band. This is for a buy setup. So you can look at this and we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 bars that closed, or 5 closes above the highest Bollinger Band. Okay. Now, if we want to check our work, now these are the rules, but the beauty is you can always check your work. Once again, you click on the Strategy 3A tab and you enter to buy when price trades 1 tick above bar number 5. So as we see here, we have bar number 5. We want to buy when it trades 1 tick above there. So that's our entry point. And as you can see, the very next bar did trade there. So you would have entered Amazon and it's off to the races. You see how simple this is? Now in the full course, we give you different exit variables, different places in which you can exit at different levels. You can exit with a quick exit. You can try and stay in longer. It's entirely up to you how you want to trade this. We also show you stop placements, how to move your stop up once you're in a nice trade. So that's all within the course. So don't worry, we're not leaving that out. We're not just saying, well, good luck with this and let me know how it works out. we have the entry rules that we're giving to you for free, and all the other information is within the full Strategy 3A course. All right, so let's look at some recent examples. Obviously, if we're going short, we'll just reverse the rules. We'll look for 5 bars that close below that Bollinger Band setting, and then we'll go short once we trade 1 or 2 ticks below. Now, if you happen to join us a little later, remember, if you have questions, please wait till the end, and then we'll answer each and every one of them, okay? All right, now I want to look at some recent examples, and I particularly want to focus on this right here. These are the 5 best performing stocks of April or May in this year, 2018. Now, Zacks, that's the investment research firm, came out with their 5-star performers for April, May 2018. Now, according to their parameters, according to their rules, these were the 5 best stocks in the past 2 months. Now, let me show you what their guidelines were. Rule number 1 was, in order to meet these requirements, percentage price change over the last 4 weeks must be greater than or equal to 20%. All right, so they need to have that big of a price change. Requirement number 2 was forward price to earnings ratio. In other words, the PE for the current financial year, F1, should be less than or equal to 20. This picks out stocks that are good value choices. So this is a stock that fundamentally should be of good value. The third requirement, expected earnings growth for the current financial year should be greater than or equal to 20. Okay, and then lastly, this is more of a proprietary tool, a Zacks rank less than or equal to 2. This is their proprietary tool. This ascertains stocks that have shown above average returns over the last 26 years. So these are a lot of requirements, a lot of rules in order to meet the 5-star performers for any time period. Here's the only trouble with this. Most of the time, you come up with this information and these guidelines and requirements are met after the fact. In other words, you've already had the big run, because they've met the the price to earnings ratio. They've the price change have been greater than 20% over the last 4 weeks. So it's after the fact. So as traders, we don't want to learn this after it's happened. We want to take advantage of it before it's happened. This is where Strategy 3A comes into play. Now, these were the 5 stocks that they picked that met their parameters. HEAR, which is, HER stands for Turtle Beach Corporation. It's an audio technology company. WRD, that's Wild Horse Resource Development Corporation. It's an oil and natural gas company. CVRR, which is CVR Refining. It's engaged in the refining of petroleum. 9NINE, which provides onshore completion and production services. And FFKT, which is Farmers Capital Bank Corporation. It's a bank holding company. All right, so well diversified, lots of different sectors here covered by these 5-star performers. But once again, you only know that they're the star performers after the fact. You know, it's like we're like closing the barn door after the horses escaped. It's too late. It's already had its run. We want to find out before they become the 5-star performers. So how do we do that? Well, let's look at the first stock, HEAR. All right. Now, looking at this in hindsight, this is the great big run it had from April to May. All right, it increased by 20%. It moved. It probably had great, PE ratio. It met all the requirements and the proprietary methods. But how could we have taken advantage of it way down here? All right, this is where you wanted to get in, right? All right, well, let's take it step by step of what we taught you. The first thing you want to do is click on Strategy 3A. You'll get the drop-down menu and click on Indicator. The indicator is the proprietary settings for the Bollinger Bands, and automatically they appear. There is nothing you have to do. It's no altering, no editing. So remember, if you have your own software that you like, that's fine, but you're going to have to edit it. And sometimes you may have to call tech support and have them help you with it because it's not actually offered for you to put in the 0.382 or negative 0.382. All right? But here it's already done for you. That's why we make it so simple. There's nothing you have to do or change. All right, then you want to look for that count. All right? So as you can see here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars above. The first bar was below. So the very first bar that closes above is number 1 in the count. Remember, we teach you the rules to each and every one of our strategies. Nothing is canned, nothing is systematic. It's educational so that you fully understand the process behind why you're entering or exiting or placing a stop. This is why we call ourselves an education company. We're not here to simply say, well, when there's an up green arrow, just buy. When there's a down red arrow, just sell, the way so many other companies do. We don't believe in that. You have to know why you're doing something. And so this is establishing a trend. When you have 5 closes above the Bollinger Bands, that's telling you you have an established uptrend. All right. Now, just to make sure that you have 5 closes, that's why we provide you with our signal. So you would click on strategy 3A once again. The drop-down menu appears. And you just want to make sure that you're in line with what you think is a buy setup. So you click on signal arrows, and guess what? You are. There's a way to check your work. There is the green arrow. So all you have to do is buy 1 tick above. That's your entry. And remember, in the full course, we tell you where you'd place your stop. We give you the different exit levels. But you would have had on this setup, basically, the potential to capture 18 points coming in to the 1st of June. Okay, this chart was taken up until yesterday. Now you say to yourself, wow, if I had waited for the star 5 performers, I would have missed this entire run. Exactly. That's why strategy 3A is designed to capture those, because it's a continuation strategy that will tell you and alert you when a trend may be taking place, and you can get in on that continuation. Okay. Let's look at the next in their series of 5-star performers, which was WRD. That's Wild Horse Resource Development Corporation. All right, this one started going straight up from March to April, and then it had a little trouble in May, but it's still firm and it may be going higher. How could we have taken advantage of this back here? All right, once again, it's too late once we find out that this is the star performer up at these levels. We want to find out back here. First thing we do, click on strategy 3A. Click on the indicator, and automatically, there's nothing we have to do. That's when we have the proprietary Bollinger Band set up for us. So it's already there. All right. Now we see that the first bar was below, but then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars here. This is our 5th bar. Now remember, some of these bars closed down on the day, some closed up. It makes no difference to us. We don't care. We just want to make sure that all 5 of them are above the highest Bollinger Band. All right. So what we do to check is we click on strategy 3A to check our work. Click on signal arrows, and guess what? It matches up perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our buy setup. Had we gone long just above that, we could have potentially captured 11 points to the upside coming into May. Very simple. We would not have had to wait for some investment research company to tell us, hey, this has just made our top performer. We would have been in well before that happened. How about CVRR? Okay, CVR Refining. Now this stock has gone straight up coming into the beginning of June. This chart was taken up until yesterday. How could we have taken advantage of this and maybe gotten long somewhere down here well before this took off? Well, we just apply strategy 3A indicator. It automatically generates our Bollinger Bands. Now as we look here, we see that we're kind of oscillating above and below. We have 1 closing below, then we close back up within the realm of the Bollinger Band, so the count starts over again. Now we have 1 below, so that's 1, and then we close in the Bollinger Band setting. But here's our first bar closing above. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars closing above. All right, so this is what we teach you in the course. What is that telling you? What is the market telling you? We're not listening to PE ratios. We're not listening to volume. We're not looking at what the institutions are doing. We're not concerned with what the interest rates are in the economy or what the financial economic conditions are. And we're not concerned with what the earnings estimates are going to be. We don't care about that stuff because that usually comes after the fact. Trust me, these were all things I was taught 41 years ago to listen to, and they didn't make me any money 41 years ago. So why should they start working now? The only thing that really concerns us is what the price on the chart is telling you. It's telling you that it has 5 closes above that proprietary Bollinger Band. So that's telling you that a trend is most likely in place. We want to make sure that we buy above that trend. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We click on strategy 3A, click on signal arrows, and there is our 5th bar. So it's confirmed. We checked our work. We're in line with the strategy rules, and we had potentially 10 points to capture. Once again, we give you different variables for exiting levels. It's up to you. If you wanted to get out with a 2-point gain, you could have done that. If you want to get as much bang for your buck and go for full 10 points, you can do that as well. Let's look on to the next star performer, Nine, N-I-N-E, which stands for the Nine Energy Service. It's an onshore completion production services company. This had a really nice run up coming into the middle of May, and then it's kind of pulled back a little bit. Could we have taken advantage of that first run up? Yes, we could have. We apply the Bollinger Band setting. We see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have a close above, so that sell-off countdown is off. We have bar number 1, but then bar number 2 closes within the realm of the 3 Bollinger Bands, so that negates this setup. We have to do the countdown over again, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above. All right, so that validates this. Let's check and see if it was okay. Yes, it was. That's a valid setup. We would have gone long, and you had potentially 11 points to capture. Now, if you had missed that, guess what? You had another setup right here, because once you closed below, all right, if you want to get back in, that negates the count, so you start all over. 1, 2, 3, 4. That closed right on the line, and 5. So if you missed this run up, you could have had a second chance to get in on this one. Capture about 5 points there, okay? So you see the markets always give you, if you have a strong enough trend, they're always giving you second chances to get back in. Let's look at the last example here in their top 5 performers, FFKT, which is a bank holding company. This stock has been pretty much going up straight coming into June, coming into yesterday. And as we can see, it was going up nicely, and then something happened where it really jumped up very strongly. Could we have taken advantage of this prior to that announcement, most likely, where the stock really just gapped up? Well, we apply the Bollinger Bands, and we see here that we're kind of oscillating within the 3 bands. But what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is telling us to go long once we trade above here, all right? Now we see here, oh, I'm sorry, 1, this was 1. We actually closed up here higher, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually you would have gotten long down here well before, a week or two well before that gap up, which would have given you potentially the ability to capture 14 points to the upside. And you can still be in this trade if you want, because we show you how to track the trade going all the way up. So that's why we are always giving you the ability to check your work. As you can see, even I had the wrong count. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, and use this as number 5. But I neglected that this had just barely closed above the top. So this was actually number 1. So you do the count on your own just to make sure that you understand the process. Then you click on strategy 3A and you click on up and down arrows to make sure you're in line. So you would have purchased it way down here and been in the stock weeks before that large news. Now, someone would say, well, you must have studied and researched the earnings or the prior to the announcement what was going to happen, right? No, all we did was look at the chart. The chart, 5 bars were above the Bollinger Band settings, and that was our only clue. That was it. That's all we did. And then, once again, in the courses, we would tell you where the exit levels are. Now, I know a lot of you say, well, I don't trade stocks, Steve. I trade the futures, or I trade the forex markets. Okay, let's look at a couple of those examples. Here is the E-mini. Here's an hourly chart of the E-mini. We have the same Bollinger Band setting. Nothing changes because we're looking at a different market or a different time frame. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars closing above. All right, where someone would say, well, gosh, Steve, this is way too high here. We are totally overbought. You've got to sell this, right? There's no such thing as overbought or oversold. If you've been coming to my webinars long enough, you know that that doesn't exist. You only look at what the market's telling you. The market is not telling you it's overbought. It never tells you that. It just tells you if it wants to go higher or lower. So this is telling us it wants to go higher. This is the valid count. You would have gone long 1 tick above, and had you stayed in that, look what happened. So much for being overbought. You continue to be overbought coming in to the next day, and that would have given you potentially 12 points to the upside, or roughly $600 per contract. Now, if we want to go short, all we do is reverse the rules. We have 1, 2, 3, and then this bar closes in the Bollinger Band, so that this is not a valid setup. But now we start the countdown over again. Once we close either above or below that high or low Bollinger Band, you start and you count. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 5 bars to the downside. That is a valid setup to go short, but you go short once you trade below. This is going to be our entry point, and the next bar you would have entered below. This is on a 10-minute chart, 17 points to the downside, okay? It would be about $850 per contract that you potentially could have captured. Now we can go short on the Canadian dollar. The same process. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. This is bar number 5. We want to go short here on a daily bar, the Canadian dollar. That's where our entry would be. The next bar, we trade just below that, so we're short the Canadian dollar. 642 pips, or potentially $6,500 per unit, okay? This is the beauty of strategy 3A. It can be applied to any market, any time frame, any direction, and you have the entry rules. So let's recap this particular method. It's a continuation strategy. It's looking for a trend to be established and then continue. We want to have some type of structure in order to jump in before it continues its upward or downward trend. The way in which we do that is by using our unique Bollinger Band setting. Remember, I'll give you the standard default settings. It's a 20-period simple moving average. That's the median line. That's the middle Bollinger Band. The deviation, meaning that the standard deviation for the band above and below, is usually default at 2. It's 2 standard deviations above, -2 below. What we want to do is alter the deviations. We want to keep the moving average the same, set at 20. But we're going down to fractions now. So the upper band should be 0.382. The lower band should be -0.382. Some of our students have told us in the past that their charting platform gives them the capability. Still, others have told us that it doesn't give them the capability. It's always set at that standard default, and they're not able to change it, okay? So this method is designed to trade those quick, powerful trends, as you just saw. Now, just to show you that we weren't cherry picking, that report by Zacks, the investment research company, came out just a week ago about the top performers because May just ended. So we didn't cherry pick. We just simply took what they thought were the best stocks, and we showed you how you could have gotten into those stocks much sooner than having to wait for them to be qualified as the top performers. You would have known in advance to be long all of those top performers. So it's designed to trade those quick, powerful, trending moves. The beauty of it is, even though we had a stock bias today with the examples, it can be applied to virtually any market, any time frame, in any direction. We have a number of students who use this on intraday E-mini futures charts. They just like to trade the last hour of the day. A lot of times you have these strong, powerful moves the last hour of the day, and they just apply this for trading it for intraday moves for maybe on tick charts. Remember, learn the strategy first, all right? Learn the entry rules which we just gave you. The only way to really learn them is through paper trading. Now, if you've been trading for a while, if you have any understanding of the markets, you'll have an idea of where to place a stop. You'll have an idea of where to exit. It's entirely up to you, but the entry rules, being the most important, are the ones you should paper trade. All of our strategies come with a high level of consistency, but consistency still means that there will be losses from time to time. Don't worry about it. The beauty is that many times you will be able to recoup those losses on the very next trade. Not a promise, not a guarantee, but that's what consistency means. So that's what we feel confident that our methods are consistent. Now, ask yourself, before we go into question and answers, and I tell you about a great offer we have for you all today, do you think the strategy could have helped your trading this past year? I'm sure you're going to spend the next hour or two going back and researching some trades you may have had, and you're most likely going to see that, wow, if I had known this, I could have really done really well this past month, maybe this past quarter, all right? Well, we have a great offer for you today. This is an offer for all the people taking time out of their Saturday morning to come and attend our webinars. We're going to offer you our PTS Primo charting platform. This is where everything is pre-canned. This is where all the rules are included, and this is going to be teaching you how to trade, most especially how to trade strategy 3A. You're going to get a 30-day trial for only $7. And guess what's included in this 30-day trial? Here's what's coming with the $7. You're going to get strategy 3A. Now, this is going to include all the rules for placing your stops, all the different exit levels, and you're going to get, the pre-canned Bollinger Band, so there's nothing you have to figure out. There's nothing you have to alter or change. Remember, I've told you, when I did this presentation in the past, months ago, a lot of students would say, well, Steve, this sounds great, but my platform won't allow me to alter the standard deviations, or it's not the same on my charting platform. Guess what? You don't have to worry about it. Everything is right there. It's already pre-set up. You're going to get strategy 3A included. You're also going to get our enhanced buy-sell line. This tells you what the overall trend is. So automatically you'll know whether you should be buying or selling. This is can be applied to any strategy or any method. So it doesn't just have to be strategy 3A. It can be any method you've ever traded or any technique you're thinking about putting together. This will tell you whether you should be buying or selling. You're also going to get 2 short-term trend identifiers. These are based solely off price, and with the click of a button, you'll see what the price is trying to tell you in terms of which direction the market wants to go on the short term. You're also going to get the strategy signal scanner. This is the beauty of this, and I think this is worth its weight in gold, because if you're the type of trader who isn't able to be in front of your machine all day long, your computer, you can come home and scan for strategy 3A setups for the next day. Let me show you how simple this is. All you have to do is, once again, go to that upper strategy tab, click on strategy 3A, and then once the drop-down menu appears, click on scan, and you'll see this window appear. As you can see, it's for strategy 3A. After this window appears, click on load symbols, and you'll see a list of symbols which we provide you with. This is NASDAQ, the Dow Jones 30, S&P, it can be Bitcoin, forex, futures. It's up to you, whichever one. You can actually make your own list if you like of a basket of stocks or whatever you want to trade, and they will automatically appear in seconds, okay? After the list appears, all you have to do is click on scan, all right? And once again, in a matter of seconds, you'll see either a red or a green horizontal bar. What this means is you just look at the corresponding stock on the left. A red bar means there's a sell signal, and a green bar means a buy signal. So you'll know the night before where the setups are generated. So you don't have to look through 500 stocks. It'll have it all there in a matter of seconds. This entire process takes less than a minute or two to do on a nightly basis. Guess what? You can also do this intraday. If you're an intraday trader and you want to see where setups are being generated, you can do this intraday as well. So you're going to get the signal scanner included. You see how simple that is to use. You're also going to get over 90 technical indicators if you like to research more, some technical different ways in which to trade, and if you like to have a technical bias. But we realize not everyone is a technician. So guess what? We've also included free Bloomberg TV. We also have a media page. There's an icon at the top of the strategy tab that says media page. Click that on and you'll get a window that appears that is live Bloomberg TV. If you're looking for economic reports, earnings reports, anything coming out of the jobless claims, it will be there announced while you're looking at the charts, okay? And then lastly, this comes with personalized tech support. Anytime you're having difficulty, you can't load up a chart, or you're not sure how to click on the strategy tab or the scanner, don't worry, we will be there to help you. We also have a lot of tutorial tapes as well. So this is all included for 30 days for only $7. This is the trading educational portal you've been searching for. Remember, our entire motivation is simply to educate you. So we designed something that is so simple, it can educate you in a matter of days. That took me over 4 decades to accumulate. So take advantage of this 30-day trial. You know, we're trying to show you in good faith that we want to get to know you. We want you to become a student and member of ours. So we're not offering you something and then asking for $500 for, you know, something that you don't understand. $7, I think that most people can afford $7. If you traded the market yesterday, you most likely spent over $7 in commission costs alone. So this is a great offer. Here's how to take advantage of this. Contact my sister site, which is Pro Trader Strategies. I developed the platform with them. You can email them at the email address provided right here. I would suggest, if you'd like more information, or if you just want to speak to a trading consultant, he can, with no obligation, give you more information at 310-598-6677. But if you're ready just to come on board for that great $7 offer, all you have to do is copy and paste this link. This is not a live link. You must copy and paste it. If you look on the chat box on the far right-hand corner here of the Go to Webinar column, you'll see there is a live link posted. You can simply click that on. It will automatically take you to the sign-up page. Now, if you're having any difficulty, if you're not sure how to do this, or you don't want to go online, once again, just call up Pro Trader Strategies. There's absolutely no obligation. Or if you're ready to sign up for the $7 deal, they will take care of that for you over the phone, okay? I'm going to leave this information up here. You want to copy it down the number, or copy and paste the link. Remember, the link is live on the chat box, and I'll open up the question and answer box. Question, is there a stock scan under this strategy? Yes. Once again, the scanner, the way the scanner works is it will scan for anything that you put into the into the scanner file. So in other words, once you get that scan page, you simply click on the list, and the list will provide you a basket of different stocks, a basket of different futures, a basket of different indices. It's up to you to choose which one you want. So if you want to look at NASDAQ stocks, you click that on, and you'd see there they'd automatically appear, and then it scans through all the universe of NASDAQ stocks for those. If you want to look at S&P stocks, you click that on, and then it will scan for all the S&P stocks. So yes, it will scan everything and anything. Okay. Is the trial limited to the 3A strategy? Well, no. As I stated, there's tons more of things you get. You got the buy-sell line, a proprietary buy-sell line, which comes with 4 features. It tells you exactly whether the overall trend is up or the overall trend is down in any stock, any time frame, so you'll know exactly if you should be a buyer or a seller. It also comes with 2 short-term trend identifying tools. It comes with the scanner, and you can also scan the buy-sell line. You can scan these other short-term identifying tools if you'd like, along with Strategy 3A. It comes with the media page. It comes with 90 technical indicators. So there's lots more that's added. Now, for different strategies, we have a host of more strategies, about 5 or 6 more strategies. That's something that is additional, but those are full courses as well. So that you're getting the full course with Strategy 3A. You're not just getting the platform and the up and down arrows. You're going to get the full online course. So it will teach you what the process is. It will teach you why we're buying or selling. It will also teach you how to construct the different exit levels. Okay, that's a great question. So you're not just getting up and down arrows. We don't believe in that. We teach you what to look for, because ultimately in the end, let's just say something happened, you're away from home and you didn't have the platform or you didn't have a computer. If you just clicked on a chart online, something, you would be able, we want every student of ours to be able to identify signals based on learning the process, what we teach you. We don't want you to rely on anyone or anything to tell you how to trade. You should be able to make those decisions yourself. Okay. Other people are asking, what happens after 30 days? After 30 days, it's your decision. You can decide to keep going, and the price, I believe, is $97, which is still very inexpensive, because I've used, in the past, I've used, this was a good 5-10 years ago, I used other platforms, and, some of them were as expensive as $500 a month. Others were roughly about $200 or $300 a month. This is still only $97 a month for what if you're signing on for after the 30-day trial. So it's still very inexpensive, and oftentimes there are different specials and different discounts and deals working with ProTrader Strategy. So after the 30 days, if you'd like to purchase another strategy and possibly keep the platform, I'm sure ProTrader Strategies, who handles all the discounts, handles all the cost pricing, would be able to work with you on something like that. Okay, so they're always open to payment plans. They're always open to discounts. So they're willing to work with you, because that's their department. They handle all the discounts. In conclusion, you saw that this is a really great strategy for capturing those big trends. Feel free to experiment, research with this for a while, and you'll see that it really does work very well. If you want to get the full impact of the course, though, you have to know about the exit levels, which are proprietary exit levels, which we teach you in the course. You also have to know about stop placement and how to move that stop up while you're in a big run-up move. For $7, it's a ton of information, and I'm sure most of you are going to be spending more than $7 just eating lunch this afternoon. So $7 is a great way to increase your chances for becoming a consistent trader. 30 days of jam-packed with information that's taken me 41 years to accumulate, okay? In conclusion, I want to say thanks for joining us today. Thanks for taking time out of your Saturday morning. I hope this gave you some greater insight into what we do, and that we're really trying to get acquainted with you by not offering you something and then charging the world for it. We really want you to enhance your trading and to become eventually students of ours and members of the platform. Thank you so much. Be sure to click on that link or to call ProTrader Strategies. And I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine and most likely members of the PTS ProTrader Strategies Primo Charting platform. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.